Hello. Hello. Hello, people. Hello, people. Let's grab a slab. Come on up to the lab and see what's on the slab. So I'm going to mess up the overworld just to fix a thing. Probably, right? So actually, I think we want it that way. Wait, where did she start? Just so I remember. Right there, okay. Come on it to the land. Oh. See. Okay. So we have reproduced the problem. The problem is we don't see the beams in the local area. When we're in overhead, we do, which suggests that there's a real easy hack for this. So, and in fact, I think I wrote this hack that shows things when we're in overhead map. So I believe I can just turn on that logic if there's a real long, if it's real long, Longo, Brad Longo. Is that an actor? Who is that? Is that a game programmer? Anyway, see that I can go, but we don't actually want to do that. Just as soon as we're out a little bit. So let's look for that. Let's look for area T target. Or maybe it's... What's stored on camera? Five alternate view per screen. Oh, is it just local area T? I should delete this. Camera, draw. VP zoom out factor. Could be that. Could be something else. VP zoom out factor viewpoint. That's just for shaders information. Water rendering effects. But this is make segment. Okay, that's a hack for like the wizard particles. Render frame. Frame zoom out factor. Could be that. I don't know. I don't know. So maybe we have... Oh, yeah, it's because the offs... Okay, I think I know what's happening. I think I know what's happening. So here's a question. Do we doctor the offsets? I mean, so I'm thinking of two approaches. So the way that we do wrapping in this game visually is we just draw the world a bunch of times, right? As you would. And what's happening is when you're in certain positions relative to the world center, we just don't draw those extra wraps because why would we, right? But when you start going out to overhead map, we say, hey, let's draw the extra wraps because you might see them. Now, at this point, that might not really be so necessary because um, I interrupted myself in the middle of the sentence to think about other things. It might not be so necessary because we've done all this visibility culling stuff that groups things together. And we only test cull individual screens against the frustum. And there's on the overworld, there's like 110 screens. So we would be doing an extra $140 frustum culls, which should be fast, but you never know. There might be something bad happening as well. Well, there are global entities that get drawn. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, what is the maximum mirror beam length? Or really the maximum any beam length? What is the maximum beam length? If it is longer, do we want to say if it's longer than half? Do we want to say if it actually wraps the world boundary? Yeah, I think we say, does this wrap the world boundary? Except sometimes there could be very short beams that wrap the world boundary, and it's fine. So it's really, I think it is it more than half? Then we do emergency mode. Something like that. Does that sound good to people? How does it sound? We could ask ChatGPT. Let's ask ChatGPT. I don't think I have the window up anymore. We'll continue our previous chat. How about if I fix the beams not rendering when wrapping on really big levels by forcing enablement of all 8 offsets whenever we detect a beam segment longer than half a level dimension. It's providing us a technical strategy, guys. It's optimizing segment rendering Forcing all 8 offsets will work as a blunt fix, but it's overkill. Overdraw extra batches. That's not true. This is not true, but okay. And can still pop at the threshold. But it kind of is talking like it knows what I'm doing. A better deterministic approach. Deterministic? What do you mean deterministic? What are you talking about? Is to compute per axis wrap crossings and draw only the necessary wrapped copies. Max 4, not. This is false. This is false. With a little hysteresis. Yeah, this is trash. This is a trash suggestion. But it does. It's the amazing thing about this is it does basically, like, I just said some shit and it does basically know what I'm talking about, which is amazing. Okay. Like, it's actually addressing the problem I'm talking about. This solution is terrible. Um, offsets dot put. Yeah, it doesn't. it's it doesn't have enough samples of this programming language. Um, yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. You have custom prompt in settings to tune down sycophancy. Well, I don't know if this is exactly sycophancy, but it is, because it's not like saying, "Hey, you're awesome," but it is definitely way over explaining things it totally doesn't understand at all, right? Like, is there a tweak in settings for be better at programming? If you expand the context length, it will start lying to ensure it's giving you a cohesive story. Yeah, we had a case like that earlier tonight on the previous stream, I think. Maybe. But it did, I mean, it is pretty amazing that it can go from this to just know what the fuck. Most human beings wouldn't know what the fuck I'm talking about if I said these words to them. But it figured it out in 11 seconds, so that's pretty good. It's just the actual proffered solutions are trash. You're pretty sure it can. Pretty sure it can what? Sometimes the solution is good even when the code is bad. This solution isn't even good. Avoid the pop at half with hysteresis. There shouldn't be a pop anywhere. Avoiding things with hysteresis is a shitty solution, broadly speaking. You should never do that. If there's any possible way to avoid it, you should never do that. That's how you end up with modern video game. Glitched out and had 2 responses for every spoken question. Maybe it just had a psychotic break and was becoming schizophrenic. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna do this. We're gonna do some cowabunga oriented programming. So where does this get called from? Simulate. Awesome. All right. Okay. Visual beam segments. Where is that defined? New beam segment. Beams. New beam segment. So we should just have a length here. Yes. Yes, we do. Okay. Manager, what did we call it? Whatever equals max. Manager dot whatever, comma, seg dot length. Okay. Let's put this down here. So what did we call it? Update mirror beams. Longest mirror beam dimension. Oh, we don't want the manager dot part. Okay. If manager dot proximity grid dot wrapping. Okay. Let's do manager.force all offsets due to a long mirror beam is false. All right. If we're wrapping, dimension is min. Let's just do this. If we're wrapping, the dimension g dot squares x. Actually, let's do this. Cast float min g dot square. We can do this in integer. Ignore segments going in Z since their length doesn't count for the following test, which is about wrapping horizontally around the world. if let's just do this. Oh, that's a wait, no, that's a scalar. What is it called? New beam segment that's in beams. We should have a delta direction. That's what I was thinking. Direction dot z. If z is less than 0.1 and z is greater than minus 0.1, we're just gonna. It should be exactly 0. Z probably should be exactly 0, but let's be paranoid. Okay. Okay. Longest beam, mirror beam dimension. Okay. So, if we're wrapping, if manager.longest mirror beam dimension is greater than dim times 0.5, we set this to true. Okay. Energy manager. Um, Longest mirror beam dimension is minus 1.0. Force all is false. And when we reset entity manager, we should just assign it to the initialized value. I don't know. Maybe we do, I don't. All right. So now, what did we say? Get world wrapping offsets. Imagine you're just trying over and over. You're typing to the LLM, please fix the problem. Please fix the problem, please. Please fix, I don't understand the problem. Please fix the problem, please. Please. Please fix, please. Please fix the problem. Okay, I don't see the overhead map. Oh, here we just set all of them. Okay. Hmm. Hey, look, it works. So the question is, so we didn't actually do the promised cowabunga. The question is it not doing it on the other frames? So let's do this. Okay. Do you know how to do cowabunga-oriented programming? Absolutely. It's a real paradigm. Nope, nope, that's not what it is. Spike to harden macro workflow. Spike 90 to 120 minutes max. Prove the idea, no polish. This is what it's doing when it gives you code, guys. Okay. Okay, false, false. True, true. True, true. False, false. Let's go to the actual location that I did this for. The actual location. Where? Oh, yeah, it's up here. Okay, we're gonna cheat that. We're gonna cheat our way in here. We're gonna cheat that. And then, for example, if I just... Hey, look at that! It makes sense now! Okay, however... Oh god, that's terrible. I realized... I did a little bit the wrong thing. What I did would be fine almost always. Except that recently we did a thing where you could have different wrapping based on Z just for the fast travel areas. So we need to get the ground layer of this frame and shit. Where was this? Mirror particles. Okay, long mirror beam. Okay, so here we actually don't want this dimension. We want a different dimension. We want okay. Do we have settings? Probably not. Okay. Okay, there we go. This may not ever matter because it may not be possible to do that in fast travel. In fact, I would prefer that it never be possible, but we want the code to be right anyway, don't we? Yes, we do. We need to use the cowabunga principles. True, true. False, false. True, true. Okay. Fixed. Dude, I fixed so many problems today. This is gonna improve the player experience. Improve the player experience. Commit. Oh wait, we gotta revert the overworld. We don't want to check that in. Why are there so many added entities? What? Now I'm confused. Okay, let's revert this. Wall set. What is going on? I feel like maybe I fixed something and didn't check something in. Let's take a look. Did I forget to check in a previous change where I modified wall sets? Beam wrap harden. Choose fun first. Ship the core delight loop early. Aesthetics later. Um. Get status dash uno. Did you commit it but on a different, was it stashed? Did you submodules multi-repro? Only communists use Git. Okay, so I don't know what these errors are about now either. Okay, 106.58770. Actually, let's. Okay, so this 60.80892 and 60.80893. These are both. We're going to delete those unversioned items. All right. These look like other. Okay. 106. 58770. Oh, that was deleted. 110.10775. This. What is going on? This was the change that I was like, oh, it's just a bounding sphere? Maybe I modified a square of it. Okay, anyway. 680414. We did. Wait, what? Why does it say added on that? You know what? These are from like this morning or yesterday. Because I think I dragged. I don't know. I'm confused. We do want these entities to be here, though. So let's check it in. entities that we want to be there. Okay, what did it say about communists? Lol fair. P4. Mercurial subversion. SVN diff pipe RG-N wall sets. How is that useful to anyone? Like, how can anyone use this with a straight face? I just don't get it. Like, it's just assuming. So what was the question? Where I modified wall sets. So what this meant was there's an entity type called wall set, and I'm pluralizing it. And it was like, oh, you must mean the exact string wall sets is in the diff somewhere, which it wouldn't be, right? But that's like the difference between understanding something and not understanding something. Okay. Fix mirror not drawing on wrapping levels. And I think this also fixed a couple other older levels, but yeah. Works anywhere. Guys, this works anywhere. Never mind that it requires you be using Perforce and have ripgrep installed. But it works anywhere. Oh, Perforce example. Then what's the works anywhere? Tailor a one-liner that I can use to get a hot mercurial girlfriend. I don't know. We're just... Do we need playtesters? Not currently. Yeah, that whole chat GPT thing, it strikes me as just like one rogue person at the company was like, fuck you. That was stupid. We're going to ban you. And like people just don't like, every once in a while, the actual who used to be the actual hippies in programming were just very concerned about digital freedom and all these things. And then nobody cares. And then this stuff happens, you know, and then people care for 5 minutes, but never long enough. Forget even changing anything or establishing digital freedoms. Like, never even long enough to create the long-term awareness among people in the industry that this is actually a very heavy thing to do to somebody, right? All right. I gave this chatter a chance. All right. Zero conflicts, only fast forwards. I'm HG outgoing. I don't use Mercurial as the problem, so I don't even know. Okay, that one's dangerous. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take ChatGPT's girlfriend advice. But yeah, I'm pretty confident that like the CEO of the company did not make that happen, right? I mean, I even think the person who got banned looks pretty obnoxious, right? It's like it's one of these people who wants to put their sexuality in everything and make everything political and about them, right? And maybe there's more to the story that's not being revealed. Maybe there's a legit reason to ban, but I don't know. Like, you should at least tell someone why they're banned if there's a very, like, maybe you're doing terrorism on your Git profile. That's quite possible. Um, but yeah, I think this is also a way that big companies avoid liability is like if they don't if they don't tell you why they banned you, then you can't use that against them when you sue them for banning you, right? Help manage the important repos of someone else. Well, like if there was like Antifa attack plans on the Git, then they don't want to give those to somebody else or else they become liable for any damages that occur or loss of life. Like there are real issues. Okay. I don't know, or there are real issues in hypothetical scenarios that their lawyers have been over and over and over for sure. Do any of those apply in this case? I have no idea. I will say it is not uncommon to hear a story like this and then it turns out there's more to the story, right? So I'm not even saying that GitHub's in the wrong or anything like that about what they are doing. But what I am saying is clearly most of these companies can just ban you at the drop of a hat. So just don't trust your data on there. Just always back it up, right? Which older people know this, right? But just since younger people came up in this age of like internet everywhere, they just haven't had to think about it as much. In the old days, if your computer died, you were out of luck. All your data was gone, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Ever lose a big project like that? No, but I did. So back in the days of 5 1/4 inch floppies, I definitely would be messy about they would get on the floor of my room and then I would like scoot my chair onto the floppy disk and the floppy would be bent beyond all possible use. That happened more than once. Aren't VPNs pointless as far as privacy goes? I mean, I'm pretty sure governments have no problem with VPNs and tracking you through them. Private places, I don't know. It's probably harder for them. Like, I definitely remember I had one of these chairs. You don't see these too often these days, but I don't know how to describe it. I'm going to sketch a chair. Okay. Art skills. So imagine what I'm drawing is like a metal tube, right? Like the internet is a series of tubes, your chair is also a series of tubes. So you have like a metal tube, maybe it starts up here and like it goes down and on the floor and then up and around, right? And you have that on each side, right? And then you know, there's some kind of back and some kind of thing between the metal tubes, but it's like a tube that goes around. So there would be a second tube over here, right? You know what I'm saying? And so the poor little floppy disk would get under the tube. And so the thing is, because this is one dimensional, this is not a point, it's hitting a lot of floor space. So if there's a floppy disk on that floor, you're gonna hit that floppy disk. Okay? Believe me, I know. All right, well, that was one of the big bugs that I wanted to get. Ah, here's another one. Fog. There's two fogs on the upper floor. Or the upper fast travel. And we get an error about it when we go there. Note that it doesn't tell us what the fog entities are. So let's try to figure it out. Some of these I just pasted today. Fog. Select. Oh, we have icons that could help me out with this. Lister panel. Wait. It says more than one on current floor. Middle, top, bottom. What's the problem then? Maybe it means volumetric fog? Oh, it's called fog volume. Oh my god. Well, there, okay, obviously you could have more than one. All right, let's debug it. Let's ask, what do I do if I get the error message in the editor, more than one fog volume on current floor whenever I switch to the sky level fast travel zone? Let's see what advice it gives us there. Um, more than one. Oh, it might be this generic an entity manager. More than one. Whatever in current level. All right. Fader already printed. Let's turn this off so we get the error message. This is like a thing to prevent spamming. Wait, false. Interesting. Okay, this actually is no longer true. What the hell is this? Okay, this is not the right place. 1194. Maybe it's here. I don't know. These are. What did it say exactly? More than one. So that would find it. More than one. All right. It's got to be one of these. It's just we might have to restart to hit the error. Ha. Get fog entity. Check for duplicates. Array. What the fuck? Fader already printed. Array. If array. For array, get ground layer. Manager ground layer this frame. Okay. That won't work. Interesting. I mean, I could just loop over the whole thing again. I'm just not convinced. Layer. Okay, that's correct. Oh, no, 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 no. This is wrong. This is wrong. Because we're throwing away the. Okay, this is wrong for reasons. We're querying by the z value, but that's not right because these entities are in special groups that assign them to the layer, and so the error message is wrong, actually. And when you query by entity, it'll actually use those, it'll actually use the groups. So if I go there now, no error, no error. I mean, there's these errors, but those are different. All right. I fixed it. Fix a broken error message. Let's see if ChatGPT guessed that the error message was broken. Do you guys think that it got it? They like doing this like 90-second, 60-second trio. Like what? That error means two fog volumes are active on the same floor after you jump to the sky level fast travel zone. In practice, it's almost always one of these. Dude, no video games are like this game. What do you mean in practice? It's almost always one of these. The overworld has a large global fog volume whose AABB still overlaps the sky zone. Okay, good guess. Not true. The floor resolver isn't clearing the previous floor's fog, so it's a good guess. Not true. Sky zone inherits the same floor ID. No. Streaming pooling re-adds a duplicate fog because the spawner didn't call the unregistered fog path. Nope. Didn't guess that the error message was wrong. All right. Stand in the sky zone and run a dump of fog volumes. The engine dump fog. For fog system.active volumes, log dev a bunch of things. I plus equals 1. Like what? it's so bad. Okay. One safe fix you can ship now. Oh, I like safe fixes. Let's see what we can ship now. Make the fog system exclusive per floor and self-healing. Self-healing sounds really cool. Fog system dot enforce exclusive for floor colon like what the fuck is that? Okay. Best carrot dot priority. Okay, what is that? That's like some like Odin crap or something, right? All right. Disable all others on this floor. Ampersand it is what is it even talking about? Like people program like this, dude. It's it's self-healing and guaranteed to work. Overworld fog. Like what is all this? I thought this was a safe fix I could ship now. Then what are these? Hysteresis on floor detection. If your current floor is derived from height, add 1 to 2 units of hysteresis. ChatGPT just loves the idea of hysteresis. How does anyone ever get anything done with this? Okay. Now, to be fair, when you're running cursor and stuff like that, it sees all your code and all your functions and your identifiers. So it can pretend a lot better because it can use your actual functions and all that. But it's the core technology is this. It's the same thing. Do we actually expect an AI to output good code on a language that is literally unreleased? That doesn't matter. I mean, yes, there are errors in the actual syntax here, but that's not the problem. The problem is all the suggestions are wackadoodle nonsense because it doesn't know anything about the game. So it lacks context. Yes, but this is what I'm trying to tell you. Adding context does not change the core technology at work here. Adding context just helps it mimic your code better. It still does not understand what it is doing. It's completely obvious when you actually look at the output with a critical eye. It's just bullshitting all the time. It can bullshit better when it has more information, but it's just bullshitting all the time. But mimicking your code better might be the thing that makes all the difference. But no, okay. There's like a fundamental misunderstanding. So, yes, this is doing very badly because it doesn't see the code. If it could see the code, it would do better. Yes, that is true. But programming is not that kind of a thing. It's not like how much do you like this flavor of ice cream? And then if you can get 10% improvement in the flavor of ice cream, that's better. It's not like that. Programming is not a continuum. Programming is a very what's the word for it? I'm the word's not coming to me, right? But so there's a space of all possible programs. Almost all programs in the space of all possible programs are complete trash, right? So programming is about exactness and precision and um like it's not a thing where you like turn a dial and if the dial is 10% more in the right direction, then then the program works and is fine. That's just not how it works, right? It's a very like the it's late at night, right? But like the word that's coming to mind is like rupturable. Like the space is very rupturable. Like I don't know. I'll figure out how to explain it later, but really experienced programmers know what I'm saying here, I think. It's just not you can't turn something that can't program into something that can program by tweaking an analog constant. That's not how that works. You need a fundamentally different system. Now, what I will say, and I said this last stream, but I'll say it again, just for completeness. This kind of output that it generates is definitely valuable. Like if you didn't know how to program video games at all, let's say, and you're trying to learn, and you're like, how do I solve this problem? This kind of output is helpful in that case because it's helping you see what are the different ways that you might think about it. How might people solve this problem? Now, most of the proposed solutions are terrible, but when you're a beginner, you don't know what's terrible and what's not. And also, you're just learning, right? And so this is all fine for that. And again, like if that's what people were claiming that AI did for them, and a lot of reasonable people do make that claim, right? A lot of reasonable people say like, oh, it helps me instead of documentation and whatever, or I plan my project or whatever. And that's fine. But people who say that they're outputting working robust software with this are just complete liars. It is not, that is not what this system does. It's not how it works. It solves exactly the same problems you can solve with a Google search. I think that's largely true. I mean, a Google search isn't very good. Like I could type in here, outline to me the ways I might think about this bug, and it would give me something useful. And it would be very hard to find that with a Google search and very time consuming if you could at all. And as we know, the quality of Google search keeps decreasing every day. So if nothing else, this is better than Google search because Google search is getting Microsofted, right? But the reason I think so many people are fooled by this is just if you don't know how to program very well, this looks great. And, you know, if this were a language where there's a lot more samples out there, this would actually parse and would be more likely to reflect a common algorithm, right? So you look at it and you're like, oh my God, it wrote the code. It's amazing, but it doesn't actually do that. That is not how this works. It is just bullshitting at all times. Yeah, this is what I don't get. Why am I not hearing all these reports about revenue from Google search just completely tanking? Because I barely use it anymore. Most people I know barely use it anymore. Is it just like normal people still use it and there's more of those in the world than everyone else? Or has the revenue tanked drastically, but nobody's talking about it? Like, dude, I used to use Google search many, many, many times per day. I basically never use it now. I'll use it sometimes if I'm on my phone because that's still the default for the iPhone, I think, right? And so if you type something into the bar, whatever. But that's really the only case in which I use it, and that's pretty rare. What do I use instead? I don't use anything. Or like the other day, I wanted to look for a furniture store. I asked ChatGPT, and it gave me better results than Google search would. They're covering the drop in search revenue with YouTube ads instead. Oh, is YouTube just, are YouTube ads getting crazier? I don't know because I subscribe, so I don't see ads. You should see these models try symbolic logic proofs. Yeah. Yeah. Sad. Sad. All right. Um, I think it's bedtime for me. Thanks for hanging out and fixing a couple of bugs and consulting Chat GPT about what's the best way to program. And yeah, I'll see you guys later on. Have a good evening. Have a good evening.